Something that I often hear get discussed when it comes to Pokemon Go is this idea of player burnout. There is a lot of people who have played Pokemon Go over the years, and nowadays they just feel like it's just more of a chore to open up Pokemon Go. And I totally understand that because I myself have been playing Pokemon Go since day one, and I've certainly felt burnout over the years, but lately I feel like I've been enjoying Pokemon Go to the fullest, and I have not been experiencing burnout. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and that's precisely what I want to talk about in this video, so let's get right into it. Alright, what's happening y'all? Count Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So for today's video, I kind of wanted to talk about this idea of burnout. When it comes to Pokemon Go, it is one of the grindiest games you could play, and it does actually require a lot. If there's something that you want in Pokemon Go, chances are you will need to grind for it. And I do think that overall, Niantic has not done much to alleviate burnout for a majority of players, but I myself have not experienced burnout over the past, I want to say a couple of years, and I think a big reason for that is because of some shifts in my mindset when it comes to Pokemon Go and when it comes to stuff like raiding and PvP, the way that I approach a lot of those game modes. It's really contributed to a much more enjoyable experience, and yeah, I will say there are certain things that Niantic has done over the past couple of months that have actually contributed to me feeling a lot more enjoyment for the game. So let's go over some of the reasons why I have not experienced burnout. I think the first thing is actually something that a lot of players tend to not do, but I feel like it is essential for you to actually enjoy Pokemon Go, and that is I set myself a lot of personal goals, and a lot of these goals are definitely achievable. They're more like micro goals as opposed to giant macro goals. What do I mean by that? Well, let me put it this way. If you're constantly chasing after 100% IVs of legendaries, or let's say you want to get like 50 Shundos or something like that, that's going to be more like a macro goal, and yeah, it could take you a while to achieve a lot of those goals, but I really do think you have to put a lot of these things in a bit of a category of possibly one day. I think that's the best way to talk about it. I think for me, I try to focus on micro goals, whether it be Stardust goals or whether it be experience goals. Maybe I want to complete a certain special research. Maybe I want to get a certain medal completed. I don't know what it could be, but I really try to focus in on small things. And I think one of the things that I'm constantly doing over the past several years is, of course, buddy adventure. If I'm constantly working on a specific buddy every single day and I just focus on that, then I don't necessarily feel burnout because there's like this small micro goal that I'm constantly working on. And as long as I'm working on those goals and it's not something that I have to outright constantly grind out for, then I feel a lot more enjoyment out of the game. I end up getting a lot more satisfaction. If I'm constantly thinking about getting hundos and shundos, then yeah, it's going to be very disappointing because you're not always going to get those super rare Pokemon. And I really feel like this is one of the things that contributed to my burnout in the past, where anytime a legendary would come out, I was just so gung-ho about getting the 100% IV of that legendary. So I would do hundreds of raids a day. Sometimes I would just drain my wallet of raid passes and, you know, just trying to do as much as I can, and 99% of the time I would not get the 100% IV, and that would contribute to a lot of burnout because I would just do a whole bunch of raids and not get exactly what I want. Nowadays, I might do maybe 10 raids a day, maybe like 15 if I'm trying to get a little bit more, but I don't necessarily focus too much on raiding as much as I used to. Yeah, Niantic is not getting as much money from me as they used to. I'm essentially kind of pseudo free to play at this point. I just feel like that has made me just enjoy the game a lot more. And one of the things that they've implemented in the past couple of months is, of course, the golden bottle cap. And that has definitely shifted my mindset when it comes to hundos and shundos, because now when I go to raid battles, the pressure to get a 100% IV is not really there anymore, because eventually I'll bottle cap the Pokemon if I really want a 100% IV of it. But Nowadays, I feel like it really comes down to just focusing on different micro goals rather than giant macro goals. I think that is a great way for you to not experience burnout when it comes to Pokemon Go. Now, another reason why I haven't been experiencing burnout is because I've been going about it a lot more casually. That's basically the best way to not experience burnout. If you're trying to grind out thousands of Pokemon catches, Pokemon like Pokestop spins every day, if you're trying to get the absolute best of the best Pokemon and you're trying to grind out as much Stardust as possible every single day, yeah, you're going to maximize your gameplay if you're trying to be Fleece King or Brandon Ton, but it's going to create burnout. It's going to create a sense of you just constantly grinding and making Pokemon Go feel like a job. That's probably not the best or the healthiest way to play. There are players like Fleece King and Brandon Ton who are just all about grinding Pokemon, but even them have kind of taken a step back over the years. It's really not all about the grind. You don't need to have the most Stardust. You don't need to have the most candies. You don't need to have the highest amount of experience. Those sort of world rankings used to be a big thing, but now no one necessarily cares about it. I really do think that if you go about it more casually and you just focus in on those micro goals like I mentioned, like, you're gonna find yourself enjoying Pokemon Go a lot more. Like, every time I open up Pokemon Go, yeah, I'll just catch whatever Pokemon is on screen, but I never run out of Pokeballs because I'm not trying to go out and grind and catch 100 Pokemon within an hour like some crazy people. You know, whenever there's a spotlight hour, I'll just casually go around and just catch as many Pokemon as I can. Hopefully I can get a shiny, but it's really just about just collecting some candy. If there's a Stardust bonus, maybe I'll just pop a star piece and just grind it out for 30 minutes, but I try to keep myself very limited, not try to play it like I used to and just spend hours and hours a day just grinding as much Stardust as I can, and I really do feel like this has contributed to a much more enjoyable Pokemon Go experience. It's kind of like playing Pokemon Go the way that they intended it to, you know, where you're just enjoying some of the things that you see, you're just going out and completing routes and catching whatever Pokemon you come along the way, and you're not so focused on just trying to catch as many Pokemon as possible, trying to do as many raids as possible, trying to hit these astronomically high numbers. I feel like if you're constantly in that mindset, you're eventually going to get burned out. The Pokemon Go game is not designed for that sort of gameplay. It's definitely not sustainable. And I suppose the final reason why I have not been experiencing burnout is simply because I just focus on enjoying the game. And anytime I really want to go all out, anytime I really want to go hardcore, it's basically with events like Pokemon Go Fest, the Wild Area event, Community Days, as well as the Go Tour event. Those are the only times where I really focus in on just trying to catch as many Pokemon as possible, trying to do as many raids as possible. And throughout the rest of the year, I'm just playing casually and just enjoying whatever Niantic gives us. And I think that's a really good way to play the game. That's a really good way to approach the game. If you really want to be hardcore about Pokemon Go, just save all that energy for those specific big events, and I think you'll be okay. Like even right now with the Hisuian Ultra Unlock event, like there is a 4x Stardust bonus tied to it, and yeah, I'm going out and playing a little bit more than I usually do, but with every other event that we've had so far this month, aside from Pokemon Go Fest Global, I really have not been playing that hard, and I don't plan to. But for this Hisuian event, yeah, I'm going to exert a little bit more energy just to get more Stardust, but aside from that, I don't necessarily try to go all out. It's only during those big events where I really just play as much as I can, try to catch as much as I can, spin as much as I can, and raid as much as I can. And because I only focus in on those specific events, I don't feel burnout for the rest of the year. And in fact, it's really a way for me to have like a really pleasant cycle with Pokemon Go, because when I go all out for these major events, I often get some of the things that I really want from those events, whether it be like a particular shiny Pokemon or I don't know, a legendary Pokemon that is really good. And then for the rest of the year, I'm just working on those Pokemon, whether it be collecting Stardust to power them up, collecting candies to power them up, and I'm just taking it a little bit casually. I don't need to have myself like a full team of, I don't know, like Dawn Wings Necrozmas, you know? I'll have one or two that I got from Pokemon Go Fest last year, and I'll just work on them. And then by the time I'm done with them, then it's time to move on to the Go Tour event. And then after I work on those Pokemon, then Go Fest, you kind of get the idea. So you kind of have to put yourself in this kind of pleasant cycle where you do go all out during very specific events, but afterwards, take it very casually. And I trust me on this, you're not going to experience burnout. It's going to make the game feel a lot more exciting. It's kind of like you're building up a lot of hype for those events. Like right now, I'm just in that mode where I'm building up for the Global Go Fest finale event along with the Wild Area event, because those are the next big events that are coming up. And right now I'm taking it a bit casually. I'm just kind of focusing on hyper training my Zacian and, you know, whether it be just working on Buddy Adventure for some of the Pokemon that I got. And that's really about it. I'm not necessarily going all out, and I feel like by the time we get to those major events, the Wild Area event and the Global Go Fest finale event, I'm going to be even more hyped rather than feeling very burnt out. I think that's probably the best way you could approach Pokemon Go. Just enjoy it for what it is as you go along the way, and then get really hyped up during the major events. And yeah, that's pretty much it. These are the 3 biggest reasons why I have not been feeling burnout for the past couple of years, and I really hope this is something that some of you could adopt, because, like I said, I've been talking to a lot of different players. It seems like player burnout is definitely a thing. I think some players have been playing since day one, like myself, but they've constantly been going at it like in a more hardcore state, and I just cannot imagine like playing this game hardcore like I used to. Back when the game first came out, yeah, I did play crazy amounts of time. Like, I was out pretty much every weekend, raiding as much as I can. I was throughout the day, like, just trying to catch as many Pokemon as I can, and I just feel like a lot of that was fun when it lasted, but I just don't think it was sustainable. And right now, I feel like I'm enjoying Pokemon Go so much more. It's really because I've taken a step back and played the game a little bit more casually, and yeah, I really hope this helps you out. If you've been feeling burnout, I really hope these are some great tips to make you really enjoy Pokemon Go once again. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding anything that I talked about down below. Are you experiencing player burnout when it comes to Pokemon Go? And what are some of the things that you want to do to mitigate that? Definitely share your thoughts in the comments, and yeah, let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you could do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you become a paid Patreon member, I will add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. That means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts, different things like that. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you're always welcome to do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and you'll have access to some exclusive content, and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. With all that said, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you all later. 진솔아와 함께해